but I do still want to see if price can reach down into this weekly inversion fair value gap before pushing higher. But yeah, like I said, it'll be nice to see if we can get one more push into this breaker before seeing a turnaround. I have my What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the best channel on YouTube. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. We're nearly at 800 subscribers, and let's get straight into things. So as you can see, just as anticipated, we traded nicely into the buy side liquidity on dollar, just as we called out yesterday, and we also grabbed those sell stops, also what we called out yesterday. Now I am going to drop down to lower time frame so we can see the delivery, but yeah, it's been a very solid day, and I did actually release a video earlier today as well with this trading strategy that I used to get in on GBP, but I'll get into that later. So here you can see today's price action. You can see we traded down slightly after grabbing that sell side liquidity below this low, traded nicely into this small fair value gap. I believe we closed that in nicely, and then we had a large reaction away. You can see there was an entry here into this breaker, low, high, lower low. So this level here, which is delineated orange, you can see how we traded down into that and then ran for that buy side liquidity with aggression. Beautiful to see, and now we're just retracing off of that quite nicely. Now if we drop down to the 1 hour, we'll be able to see in more detail how we traded down into that fair value gap I just showed us, and then you'll see these orange levels that I've marked out. This is where the shift in market is happening. This is where the change in the state of delivery is happening. So as soon as this candle closed up here above this swing high, you can see our price comes back into it, finds support, and then uses that to launch pad as a launch pad into this buy side liquidity. And like I said, now you can see we're just retracing. So yeah, beautiful price action. I would like to think this is the low of the week, with an expectation to reach up the buy side liquidity. The fact that we've got this high already on the Tuesday, though, does say to me that we can anticipate a potential reversal on the Thursday. So that is one thing to keep note of. But in terms of Wednesday, I would like to think we can see a continuation to the upside, although I don't think it's going to be as expansive as what we just saw on what we just witnessed today on Tuesday. But yeah, here again, 15-minute came down, filled in that fair value gap. And what time did we do that? We done that at 2 a.m. So just as the London session begins, we start to expand higher. Accumulation, you can see a reaccumulation here, and then we eventually wanted to that buy side, taking out these relative equal highs of here. So beautiful price action. And in terms of what I'm expecting for the new day, well, I'd like to see a continuation upwards. So what I do have my eyes on are these wicks. So we've got 3 large wicks here. I am going to draw our attention to the longest one, the largest one, and I'm going to draw out the midpoint. So let's get that delineated. So this is going to be the consequent encroachment of this wick, like so. And then when we drop down to the lower time frame, we'll be able to see how that may become relevant. So you can see we're just on that level now. There's a fair value gap here. Price may want to fill it. But yeah, so this bullish order block here, I'm going to move this. Let's use this. So we have a bullish order block here that caused this expansion. Since we already accumulated on the way up here, I wouldn't be surprised if price wanted to come tap that before moving higher again. So it'd be nice to see if we can trade down into that on the Wednesday, create the low of the day, and then, like I said, continue higher and run for the buy side and again towards our weekly target up here. So that's pretty much all I've got in mind for the new day. This blue box, what was that blue box again? This is a breaker. Yeah, this is a breaker block. So we've got a high, low. I did talk about this in yesterday's video, but I'll go over it again. So we've got a high, a low, higher high, and then from there we move all the way down, right? So again, this level, now that we've traded through it on the upside and closed above it and closed above this high, if we do ever reach down this low again, then price should find support at this level and it should use that in order to move higher. So that's just going to stay like that. What I am going to do is I'm going to make these visible current and below. But yeah. Another thing to take note of as well is if we look at the range that we've just created from this low to this high, if we look at the trading range, we'll see that this offers optimal entry at this fair value gap and this level here, which is another reason it'd be nice to see if price does want to offer us that, for, like I said, for us to look for buys on dollar for a push higher. So yeah, everything's all sweet over there. Now let's go to GBP, where I did make a video on this, and beautiful delivery on GBP, just as we expected. So you can see we traded higher, took out this buy side liquidity. Again, we stayed within the range of this fair value gap. I did have it marked out. Let me see. Anyway, I did have this drawn out as a breaker block. You can see we traded up to the top of that breaker block, and then we turned around, leaving it. And you can see that we've also closed below it, which is perfect. And we've closed at the low of yesterday's price action, which again, all of these are coming into confluence as to why I'm anticipating lower prices for the rest of the week. We've also created relative equal lows now from Thursday's low and Tuesday's low. These are relatively equal low, so price is going to want to draw down into these levels and into this range, just like I was saying. So let's drop down to the 4 hour, see how price delivered. You can see we marched up, took out buy side liquidity here, ran these stops. You see price volume respected this bearish order block here, so volume stayed below that, and then we dropped off precipitously here, leaving that daily breaker, and we started running for these lows and grabbing the south side liquidity below Friday's lows. Beautiful price action. Again, I'll make sure to link today's trading strategy video in this video, because I do go over how I got in on a trade. But let's drop down to the hourly. You'll see I have a lot more marking outs, and I'm just going to run through everything here just so you have an idea of what I'm looking at. So we've got Monday's price action, Tuesday's price action. Here's Monday's range. We've got the high and the low. You can see we ran for the highs, came down to the low, and now we're retracing back within to that range. This was the London session where we made the high of the day, took out the buy side liquidity, and then we targeted the sell side liquidity, and you can see how we ran to that quite nicely. You'll see there's also another entry offered in this fair value gap. We traded up to the 50% consequent encroachment off that right here. Price traded up, offered an entry for another sell during New York, and then again started running down for that sell side liquidity. Here's the 15-minute. Again, this level was a breaker, high, low, higher, high, then we've broken lower, touched that level once, running out these stops, short-term stops, classic price action, and then we've started to drop off. So again, what I am going to do is I am going to draw out this order block completely, and the reason for that is because price is likely to return to it, because it's typical, and I know this from back testing, but it's typical for price to return back to the breaker block, and this is the breaker. So this is where we've distributed. This is going to be our redistribution. So price may want to draw back up to this breaker before distributing to the downside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this right into the new day, and we'll see if we can we'll see if there's a shorting opportunity just in here for price to go lower. Also, there's a fair value gap here as well that price may want to fill. So there's a lot of confluence as to why I'd like to think that price may want to tiptoe its way up here before shorting again to run for these sell stops that we have waiting patiently down here. So yeah, nothing too crazy at all. Nothing too crazy. Another thing as well, we can look at the trading range, and what do we see? Again, optimal trade entry lines up perfectly with this level as well. So that's another reason if price does want to reach into there, this will be a nice shorting opportunity for us to start looking for these relative equal lows to get taken. So there's a lot of confluence on our side right now. So I'm going to finish off on Euro. As per usual, we'll start on the daily. Euro did what we anticipated. Right, well, actually, no, tell a lie. Euro, I didn't expect Euro to take out Monday's high, purely because Monday had already taken out Thursday's high. But we traded up, and then you can see we turned away, and we've closed below this bearish order block now. So now that this candle's here, we have this bearish order block. So now we can draw out these levels off the bearish order block as potential reaches for the high of tomorrow. But I'm still expecting a drawdown to this bullish order block on the daily. So overall, let's drop down to the 4 hour. I'd like to see us trade back up into this level that I've just marked out, which is now a bearish order block low. Into this range, what do we have? Nice fair value gap and a breaker here. So in fact, I am going to draw this level out. I'm going to get rid of this. So this is a breaker. Hopefully you guys are following along all right. So it'd be nice to see price trade up into this breaker, into this fair value gap as well. and then we can use it as a selling opportunity. This is the low of the breaker, high, low, high, high. So we're looking at this level to be returned to. As soon as price reaches that, I can start looking for sales on euro. Again, what we're expecting, a run down to this daily bullish order block to fill in this liquidity void. We can drop down to the 1 hour just to have a better look at price action. Again, beautiful price action, ran above these buy stops and then turned away nicely, touched into this breaker for distribution. And like I said, we're going to be redistributing again if we manage to reach up there. So yeah, everything's all going to plan, and I hope you found this insightful. Don't forget to smash subscribe. Again, we're nearly at 800 subs, guys. That's incredible. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.